Have you ever tripped over your own feet in public? Waved enthusiastically at someone who was definitely waving to the person behind you? Realized halfway through a meeting that your fly was open? Or smiled through an entire conversation with a piece of spinach proudly stuck between your teeth? Yeah, same. Embarrassment shows up in many forms. Ripped jeans in the wrong place, calling someone the wrong name, telling a joke that dies a long, painful death. And in that moment, you just want to evaporate, melt into the floor, hit Control Z on life. But what if I told you embarrassment isn't something to avoid, it's something to celebrate, because that awkward flush of shame, it might just be your next growth spurt in disguise. Let's break it down. Before we start, let's answer a basic question. What is embarrassment? Embarrassment is that warm, sinking feeling of self-consciousness, shame, or awkwardness that shows up uninvited, usually when we feel exposed, judged, or socially off. It's your brain's way of saying, hey, you just broke an unspoken rule and everyone noticed. But here's the twist. Embarrassment isn't always about what others actually think. It's about what you imagine they're thinking. And spoiler alert, they're probably not thinking about you that much. Everyone's too busy replaying their own stupidities. Why do we feel embarrassed? Evolutionarily speaking, embarrassment helped humans stay in the tribe. Back then, if you did something weird, the group might cast you out, and being alone meant game over. Today, the stakes are lower. But modern life has dramatically raised the pressure to appear flawless. We live in a world of highlight reels, curated feeds, LinkedIn updates, and how are you? Replies that better be some version of thriving. There's an invisible rule book. Be confident, but not cocky. Be unique, but not too weird. Be authentic, but please, look good doing it. So when you spill coffee on your shirt before a meeting, mispronounce a word during a pitch, accidentally send a text meant for your friend, to your boss, your brain freaks out, we've lost status, exile is imminent. Reality, someone else did the same thing 5 minutes ago. So we feel embarrassed not because we're weak, but because we're wired to care. In modern society, keeps turning up the volume. How does embarrassment limit us? Here's the problem. When we fear embarrassment too much, we avoid the very things that make life exciting. Things like speaking up with an idea that might flop, trying something new you might suck at, expressing how you really feel. Embarrassment becomes a bouncer at the door of your potential. It keeps you in the safe zone. But growth doesn't happen in the safe zone. It happens in the stretch zone, right past the cringe. How is embarrassment a good thing? Why would anyone want to lean into something that makes your stomach drop, your ears turn red, your palms wet and your throat dry? Because on the other side of embarrassment is freedom. 1. You become braver. Once you've bombed a speech, made a weird first impression, posted a video no one watched, you realize you didn't die. And that makes you 10 times more likely to try again. Bravery isn't fearlessness, it's fear. Plus reps. 2, you stand out. In a world of polished perfection, your imperfections are relatable. People connect with your flaws far more than your filters. Want to be memorable? Risk being awkward. 3, you grow faster. Embarrassment often comes from doing something new, different, or beyond your current skill level. That's exactly where growth lives. Fail faster, learn quicker. Embarrass yourself into improvement. 4, you loosen up. When you stop obsessing over how you're perceived, you actually become more fun to be around. You laugh more. You take things less personally. You become you, unfiltered and unapologetic. 5, you find your people. When you dare to be awkward, honest, or weird, you attract others who vibe with the real you, and you repel those who only want the curated version, which, honestly, is a win-win. How might we embrace embarrassment? All right, now for the good stuff. Here are 5 ways to turn embarrassment from enemy to ally. Number 1, expect it. If you're doing anything brave, creative, or meaningful, embarrassment is part of the package, like shipping costs or airport security. You can't avoid it if you want to get somewhere worthwhile. Want to try stand-up comedy for the first time? You'll probably bomb. Jokes that sounded genuine and genius in your head might land like wet toast. That's normal. You're not broken. You're just trying. And that's more than most people do. Trying to speak a new language, you will mispronounce something and accidentally order 12 goats instead of a glass of water. That's progress. Starting your first business, podcast, YouTube channel, you'll be awkward on camera. You'll overshare. You'll say 100 times. But here's the thing. No one starts polished. You can't skip the awkward beginning. You can only expect it and move through it. Embarrassment is not a glitch. It's the entry fee. So next time it shows up, don't take it as a red flag. Take it as a green light. You're not being cringy. You're being courageous. Number 2, narrate the moment. One of the fastest ways to diffuse embarrassment is to call it out loud. Try saying, well, that was embarrassing. Or, okay, that didn't go how I rehearsed it 38 times in my head. Acknowledging it breaks the shame loop. It tells your brain, yes, I noticed. No need to spiral. And it tells others, I'm human. I can laugh at myself, which, by the way, makes them relax too. Example, you're giving a presentation and your slideshow freezes mid-sentence. You could panic. Or you could say, looks like even the slides got stage fright. Everyone laughs with you. Tension gone. You're back in control. Another one, you wave back enthusiastically at someone who was actually waving to the person behind you. You blush, look around and say, great. Now I've just invented a new greeting for strangers. People love someone who doesn't take themselves too seriously. When you narrate the moment, you take charge of the story before your brain turns it into a 3-season humiliation series. Remember, awkward silence is only awkward if no one names it. Be the one to name it. Number 3, treat it as data, not drama. Slip up doesn't mean you're doomed. It just means something didn't go the way you planned. And that's not a personal crisis. It's just information. Instead of spiraling into, I'm a failure. I should never speak in public again. Try, that didn't land. Interesting. What can I tweak next time? Detach. Learn. Move on. Example, you pitch an idea in a meeting. You think it's brilliant. But the room goes silent, brutally silent. Your drama brain says, I'm an idiot. I should quit. Your data brain says, okay, maybe the timing was off, or I didn't explain it clearly. Let's refine and try again. Another example, you post a video or artwork you're proud of, and it flops. 2 likes, 1 from your mom. Drama brain. I'm not cut out for this. Data brain. All right, this thumbnail didn't work. Maybe the hook wasn't strong. Let's test something else. Embarrassment becomes fuel when you frame it as feedback. It's not a verdict. It's a signal, one that helps you course correct, not catastrophize. Every master was once a mess collecting data. So the next time you cringe at something you did, ask, what's this trying to teach me? Then take notes, not insults. Number 4, practice tiny cringes. Embarrassment, like muscles, gets easier the more you stretch it. You don't need to jump into full-blown public failure. Start small, start safe, start squirmy. Think of it as building your awkward tolerance. tiny controlled doses of cringe now can prepare you for bigger, bolder moves later. Example 1. At a conference, ask a question during the Q&A, even if your voice shakes. Half the room probably had the same question. The other half is impressed you spoke up. Example 2. Wear something slightly out of your comfort zone. Bright socks, a bold hat, not because it's stylish, but because it makes you feel seen and maybe a little exposed. That's the point. Example 3. Dance at a wedding. Sing at karaoke. Try stand up at an open mic. Will you nail it? Probably not. But will you survive? 100%. And the thrill of doing it anyway, that's your confidence training in real time. You can even gamify it. Try one cringe a day. Compliment a stranger. Post something honest online. Mispronounce a word and keep going. Every small that was awkward moment you walk through makes the next one less scary. So when the big stuff hits, pitching your idea, making your art public, telling your story, you've already built the muscle. Embarrassment doesn't disappear. You just stop letting it own you. Number 5, remember, no one cares. Here's a hard truth that's also the most freeing. No one's thinking about your embarrassing moment as much as you are. In fact, they probably forgot about it while you were still replaying it in slow motion. Adding dramatic background music. Example, you called your teacher mom. The class laughed. You felt like your soul left your body. But 5 minutes later, everyone was too busy checking their phones or worrying they might do the same thing next. Or you accidentally hit reply all with a cringy typo in an email. You imagine your entire office gossiping at the water cooler. Reality? Most didn't even open it. The ones who did barely noticed. And if they did, they've already moved on to their own next awkward moment. Why? Because everyone's the main character in their own movie. They're not obsessing over your blooper reel. They're starring in their own. The faster you realize this, the faster you stop shrinking yourself out of fear of being judged. And here's the twist. When you do show up awkward, real, and unpolished, that's the stuff that makes people like you more. Perfection is intimidating, but being human, that's magnetic. So stop carrying what others already dropped. That thing you're still cringing about, no one remembers. Or they do and love you more for it. Embarrassment isn't proof that you messed up. It's proof that you're stretching, testing, living. So the next time it hits you like a heat wave, try this. Smile. Say thank you. And know you just pushed a boundary most people are too scared to touch. Here's how to turn embarrassment into your secret weapon. Expect it, so you never have to feel shame for growing. Name it, because calling it out dissolves the awkwardness. Review it. Treat every slip up as data, not a personal flaw. Practice small cringe moments to build your social stretch zone. And most importantly, remember no one cares. If they've already forgotten, you're free to be fully you. Embarrassment isn't the end. It's the beginning of becoming more you, unfiltered, unafraid, and unapologetically alive. Have you had an embarrassing moment you thought was the end of you? Drop it in the comments. Let's laugh together and leave the shame behind. If this video helped, like and subscribe for more life skills that school never teach.